All right, this is your live show schedule for the week here on the Cowboys Report. Monday, 3:50 p.m. Eastern Time. Same as Thursday, back to our normal schedule. Sunday Night Football this week against the Pittsburgh Steelers at 6:45 p.m. Eastern is when we'll start our live coverage. We'll go live a little bit earlier so the Steelers channel doesn't screw us like the Giants channel did. So make sure you guys are subscribed and tune into our live programming this week here on the Cowboys Report. Now, you are 2-2. You got a big win, if as ugly as it was against the Giants, but you have to make changes. In many ways, this win over the Giants reminds me of last year's win over the Chargers. It wasn't pretty. You got the win. You gutted it out. Now you have to make some adjustments and build a better football team and install your real offense in the mini bye week again, which is crazy how that's happened seemingly 2 straight years. You got to make changes and adjustments. Coaching staff, too. Players as well. Look at what some of your key players said after this win. Dak Prescott, who is kind of unusually called out his teammates 2 times in a row, which he doesn't normally do. We got to continue to be pros. That's not done when you get a win. We're not going to get overexcited. Hopefully the guys don't listen to anything being written now, good or bad. It's about focusing on the process. We were able to get a win tonight, puts at 2-2. It's a process. We're not going to get complacent. We're not going to get overexcited about what we've done tonight. It's about building and figuring out what we can do better in all phases. But it's a lot easier to do that after a win. Micah Parsons had a similar refrain despite battling his own ankle injury. Winning is important, but it wasn't perfect. I don't want to scrape by no more. I want legit wins. I want to win consistently. And we got a tough matchup next week against Pittsburgh. Your players have to keep improving. You know, some of your guys have. I've seen some better stuff out of guys like Terrence Steele. The coaching staff, though, has to keep helping. And one of my big takeaways across the board, especially on offense these past few weeks, I don't think your coaching staff has done a very good job of getting their players, their playmakers, into the best positions to succeed. So I have some changes to make. They're a little bit more bigger picture stuff, which isn't the same level of solution other than just like run the good plays that I know they've done before. I have some changes for this Cowboys team to make in this kind of mini bye period. So going into this little, it's not quite 10 days anymore, but the mini bye, the full week you have, what is your confidence level in the Cowboys right now? Scale it for me from 1 to 10. 1 on the low end, 10 on the high end. Let me know what your confidence level is in the Cowboys. First up, please bring back the good passing offense. It is 2024. Stop running a stupid, outdated West Coast offense. It's not a good offense, and I hate it. Now, the Cowboys did make one of the exceedingly obvious adjustments to make this past week. They got CeeDee Lamb going. Why it took them so long, I truly will never fully know. But he had 8 targets, which I feel like they were missing one, or they called it a throwaway. Pro Football reference to that first one. I think they probably called it a throwaway, which is it's fine. It pretty much was what it is. What was there? 7 catches, 98 yards, 14 on average, 1 touchdown. In the second half of the football game, he was targeted twice for 1 catch and 4 yards. Why? They did that in the Dolphins game last year too. Why do you go away from your best player? Can you not adjust when they adjust against you? Please feed him all game long. Throw him the damn ball. The Cowboys' passing scheme right now is terrible. You basically only use Brandon Cooks on hitch routes. He's fast. Do mesh. Do drags. Do mesh rail. Do stuff that normal NFL teams do. And not just try to survive on 7-yard passes every play. The scheme is terrible. You have to let Dak deal, help him deal, and push the ball downfield. You really do. Look, everything about this offense is still really hard. You had the one play from Dak when he found Lipke on that incredible play. He gets through 1.5 reads. Pressure's there. He bails on the pressure, avoids the pocket, looks off a guy, throws a dart Lipke for 11 yards. So challenging. And if it feels like there's nobody open, it's because there is when they're throwing it. Here are the numbers. The tight window throw percentage from worst to best. Week 3, it was a 35.3% tight window throw rate. Horrible. 25%. That's the 6th highest rate. Number 1 highest rate. 12th highest rate. 13th highest rate. There's 70 qualifying quarterbacks so far this year. Individual performances. Dak has 4 of the top 13 tight window throws. That's not good. That's bad. It's higher than what it normally is. Your scheme sucks. Look, he's missed some throws too. Don't get me wrong. He's been a bit late. That increases that stat. But this is it feels like there's nobody open because there isn't. The motion game is also non-existent. You ran it 42 times in week 1, then 34, then 25. Maybe that was some game script stuff, sure. It was 27 against the Giants. We shall see where that ends up ranking. But the stuff that other teams like to do, that they try to make life easier on their offense, your head coach refuses to do. It's motion, it's hitch routes. And look, if Dak is comfortable with that stuff, I don't care. Do the stuff that's better. Push him a little bit more, if that's the case. I don't know if it actually is, but I want to acknowledge it at least as a possibility. You can get the Cowboys turnover chain. We'll talk about the defense here in a little bit. Don't you worry. Get the turnover chain that I rock if and when the Cowboys make some turnovers by going to chatsports.com/Cowboys chain. Link will be in the comments section and the description of today's show. That's chatsports.com/Cowboys chain. Next up, I would try some new players. And you don't have to play all of them, but you are kind of getting into the definition of insanity, right? Now, Marquise Bell was hurt. I thought Donovan Wilson was better this week. Still not great. I wouldn't mind trying him. If you're just going to have Brevin Spanford block, when you have Lipke who can do that, you want to try John Stevens Jr. instead? Or you just not trust him on special teams? That might be a factor there. But he's a different body type of tight end than what you have. I would like to see more Kevontae Turpin chances. I also think Turpin's usage or lack thereof is indicative of the way you use Brandon Cooks, which is like he's in the Michael Gallup role, and that's just not what he does best. Put Tolbert in the Gallup role and let Cooks do other stuff that's not just comeback routes. That's all they do with him. It's so bad. Of course he's not doing contested catches. He's like 5'9". Stop throwing that route to him. Stop it. It's just bad usage. I kind of want to see Ryan Flournoy out there. You're worried about Jalen Brooks getting his 4 special team snaps? Flournoy gives me some juice. And finally, maybe it's Dalvin Cook time. Your running game was better. I also think, by the way, it's a little telling that Ezekiel Elliott has had his snap count drop every game this year. And even by the way, in those, they kind of used him properly and brought him in to be a grind out the clock guy. They're giving just as many actually, they had Zeke out there for 0 pass blocking snaps against the New York Giants. They gave Deuce Vaughn a rep, and he was actually really good in that rep, by the way. They're putting Rico Dowdle and Lipke in there to pass protect. Not Ezekiel Elliott right now. He's out there for 2 pass plays. That was it. What's he out there then for? What am I paying for? To get in the ball. He kind of tried to run the clock a little bit. Had to go on this callback for a hold too, but Dowdle's better. I think they're all better with outside runs, unless Dalvin Cook is cooked, which you're going to have to trust the coaching staff on that front, because if he never plays, probably just means he's bad. So, should Dalvin Cook play in Week 5? Y for yes, N for no. Let me know in the comments of today's video. Some more changes. Fix your flags. I feel like it is every single year, different players, we have this conversation. Now, the flags went away in Week 2 and Week 3. They let the boys play. They were playing catch-up. They were a little bit nicer, I guess, there. But they had 11 flags in Week 1 and 11 flags in Week 4. Now, look, all of them were not flags. There were some bad calls mixed in there. They also totally missed one against DeMarvion Overshown that could have been called. But you've got some repeat offenders here. In total, you have 41 penalties. 9 of them have been declined. It's not good. Guyton has 7 penalties this year. 2 of them were offsetting or declined. 7. 4 games. We were mad about Connor Williams. Guyton's your new penalty boy. Now, Tyler Smith has kind of cut them down a little bit. That's a good sign. I feel like he's getting a bit more respect from the officials. Guyton's not now. Jalen Tolbert's got some stupid penalties. Spanford does too. Lamb had a stupid taunting penalty. I'm not too worried about that one there. But you can't have penalties kill drives. This team is not good enough to overcome consistently 1st and 20, 2nd and 20. They're not good enough. The penalties are killing you. They almost cost you that game against the Giants. That would have been the reason, because your offense moved the ball great until you got into 1st and 20. And then you were in a bad spot, like most teams are. They almost killed you. So it's time to bully the Cowboys into committing fewer penalties. Type flags for me in the comments section of today's show. Number 5, just learn to tackle. You are professional athletes. Hit somebody and hold on. Your missed tackles have gone the wrong way. 9 in week 1, 6 in week 2. These are all for PFF, by the way. 15 in week 3, and 14 last week. Now, a lot of these are some of your defensive linemen, and I am less worried about when your interior linemen, your edge rushers give up missed tackles, because oftentimes those are not like high-quality tackle attempts. When you got 5 missed tackles from a safety and 5 missed tackles from a linebacker and 5 more from a corner and 3 from your other corners each and 4 from another linebacker, and that doesn't include like Donovan Wilson just not being in the right spot at the right time, like that's too many. You can't miss open field tackles. That is how you end up turning a 4-yard gain into a 12-yard gain and they get a first down. You got to miss fewer tackles. You're going to be down Tank Lawrence. You're going to be down Micah Parsons. Those are 2 of your best players on defense. Time to have people step up. So who needs to step up most on the defense? Right? There's a lot of names you can go with here. Drop one for me in the comments of today's show. Finally, Mike McCarthy, you are an NFL vet of how many years? How do you still suck at end of half and end of game scenarios? I genuinely don't understand this. How does it keep happening? You had it multiple times again. You had it in the first half where the Giants were in 2nd and long. They picked up a few yards. You didn't call timeout. You didn't do it. You allowed the clock to run all the way down. You get an offsides. You have to burn a timeout there to stop a runoff there. Why you didn't call timeout there, I don't know. Bad clock management. Late in the game, you just loaded the hell out of the box. You are not a power run team. Spread them out a little bit. All you're doing is adding more guys in the area where you're trying to go. Spread them out a little bit. Put one receiver out there. And late in the game was a near disaster class, and still kind of was out of Mike McCarthy. You are in maximize the clock ticking time frame. You didn't use any of your timeouts. What you should have done, if you are going for a 51-yard try, which I just didn't like, punt the ball and then get them backed up in their own 20 and just bleed that clock off. They can go 80 yards in 20 seconds. You didn't do that. And you also took 3 timeouts in the half in the end of the game for no reason. Instead of simply, when you snap that ball, there's 1:16 left, take down the 40 seconds. Call your timeout. Then send your kicker out there. Instead, you made him rush. Go back and watch. They weren't ready. Aubrey was rushing. You can go look at the 8 seconds on the play clock in each of those moments. Aubrey was set and ready, doing his breathing stuff. The last one, everyone's still getting set up. You rushed a 51-yard try for zero reason because you suck at this stuff. Mike McCarthy is terrible at the end of games. We would make jokes how Madden Mike and our offseason Sims was bad at it. He's terrible in real life. And look, most coaches are. But Jesus, dude, come on. Figure it out. This isn't that hard. Do we have to hire a guy who plays Madden to do it for you? Come on. Be better. As a bonus, please get Deron Bland back. Andrew Booth was bad. Was Deshaun Wright bad? Amani Oruwariye, wasn't as bad, but also you're down to defense. You're down to your sixth cornerback option. It's not exactly great. It was not a great spot necessarily.